Well, welcome back. We're going to do our featured topic portion of the show. We have 3 topics left, and Eric is going to read off those topics.
Yeah, so the 3 topics we have left. Topic number 1. So normally we would put the topic in the bowl, whatever number you pick, we would talk about that topic. But we're doing something new, so we're going to give you the topics, and we just letting the guests pick. You know, because sometimes we get guests, like, oh, I really want to talk about that topic. So we doing something where we let the guests pick whatever topic that they want to talk about. So topic number 1 is navigating code switching in social and professional settings. Topic number 2 is friendship dynamics as adults. And topic number 3, thoughts on Afrofuturism. So Afrofuturism, I'm just going to use, for an example, Afrofuturism is like Black Panther, for example. It's more of, Black people being represented in like the sci-fi world, because you watch a lot of sci-fi movies. I watch a lot of sci-fi movies, where we aren't really represented, a lot in that, even art, So Afrofuturism, they always come up with new terms or whatever. So it's just like looking through the lens of the future,
right,
as African Americans. So.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, let's go with that one, man.
Okay. So we're gonna talk about thoughts on Afrofuturism. So.
Okay, you want me to start? Usually I start. I don't know. But thoughts on Afrofuturism, I feel that in like any genre of anything, it is always important that we are represented, right?
Yeah.
As far as like, because we're a part of what makes up, because we're part of what makes up humanity, right? So a lot of times, we are treated very monolithic and treated like we're only one type of person, where you see us only as like drug dealers and like and somebody trying to make it out of a bad situation into a better situation. That's the only time you see us winning. We always have to be losing at first. You know what I'm saying? It's that's what we've been talking. I'm from a different. And this is relatable. I am from Jamaica, and this is relatable. So when I was a little kid, and I was moving to America. I came in when I was 8. I always thought in my mind that all Black people in America were poor because I'm about to tell my age. I was forced to watch shows like Good Times. This is pre Cosby Show. Good Times. Even like what shows did they have in Jamaica? They had even the Jeffersons was Bad Situation to a Better Situation.
Right.
All the shows back then show white people like, they should have, in Jamaica they have like Falcon Crest and everybody white was rich. Because that was the most amazing thing to me when I moved to America and saw poor white people. I was like, what the hell is this? I was like, because I always saw rich white people on TV. But with Afrofuturism, I feel like that's another thing is we need to be represented on every stance, every light. You know what I'm saying? Comic book, because I know you do comic books. We do need Black heroes. And I feel like they're doing a better job than they did in the past. Sci-fi, I know that one of my, what's her name? Oh my God, we was talking about her last week, a writer, Octavia Butler. She passed away. And I've read several of her novels, and her novels are basically, like Afrocentrism type ideas where they talk about, but she'll put that whole idea of, because it was like, I remember one book I read, because they had the series about it, I forgot what it's called. But it was like the slave, the person would pass out and then go back into the past with slavery and they'll come back. I mean,
that's interesting, actually.
And I read the book and they turned it into a series, and the book and the series were the same, like it was the same thing, except for they changed little small bits of it. You know what I'm saying? Like they changed the time period of her and her guy knowing each other and stuff like that, and where they're married and not married before. But I feel like it's important to represent us in every light, and I feel like we need to do a better job. Well, they need to do a better job. And sometimes if those aren't the genres of because do you know how a lot of times that certain time periods make different types of movies are made. You remember a time period where it was all zombie movies? Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then this time period was all it was a lot of comic movies like DC movies.
Oh, yeah, they
or
doing-
they remember like doing it was a whole bunch of hood movies. So it depends. I mean, but yeah, we need to.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You said it.
I mean, you know, when we talk about that, I think, yeah, black representation is real. We need it. You know what I'm saying? But I think that sometimes it's being oversaturated. Like, too many people are doing it. Now, this might sound kind of crazy, but, you know, like, there's a lot of stuff. Like, you got, like, you know, you got the Alter Ego, like, you got Batman, right? They got a lot of people who are doing stories, like, with, like, basically, like, a black Batman. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A billionaire black dude.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they got, like, all black people in the stuff. But I like it, but I think that at least, you know, because I work in a diversified environment, you know, or at least an inclusive environment, I think that some of the people who are non-black get offended by that, and and you shouldn't really be you shouldn't really be scared of that or nothing. But I try to be inclusive and try to include all people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when I do my comic books, at least, you know, I include everybody, you know what I'm saying? I throw some Asians in there, because my wife's Asian, you know what I'm saying? She's from Vietnam. So I throw Asians in there, I throw Latinos in there, you know what I'm saying? It is not just all black folks, you know what I mean? You know, I always try to throw Indian, you know, Native Americans or indigenous folks, you know what I'm saying? I try to include everybody. But I do feel that, like, for the black folks, we definitely need to have a bigger, wider outlet, and I think we're starting to get that. You know, you got Tyler Perry doing his thing. I believe Cat Williams is about to open up a studio.
Yeah, he is too.
You know what I'm saying?
Which is crazy.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We got people who are gonna promote this. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to say Oscar so white or nothing like that. We can.
I hope, and I'm not trying to cut you off, but I just hope that when, and I don't want to sound like a hater, but I just hope when Cat Williams open his studios, he hire a lot of writers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's the thing about Tyler Perry movies, and I know people love Tyler Perry, but I feel like I'm watching the same movie and the same series.
It is, really.
You know what I'm saying? And I can't tell him who to hire because he's doing a great job. He is actually trying to represent black people, but a lot of times it don't feel super represented. You know what I'm saying? Like, he got a whole bunch of like model looking dudes and like
That ain't real.
good looking black women. He went from it wasn't like that at first. Now it's like all that, and it's kind of like all the stories are like, you know, like, dude is, I don't know, the stories just seem so similar. I try to watch them and the stories seem so similar. I ain't gonna lie, you know what I saw, and I was like, this was really good. Y'all probably, I don't know if you've seen it, and I was like, this was really good. It was very different. It was black, because I don't only watch black movies. He know I watch a lot of white stuff. But you know, Deliverance. I thought Deliverance was really good.
I haven't seen it, no.
Yeah, it was. I was like, damn, this is like really. It was sci-fi, and it was about ghosts and spirits and stuff like that. And I was like, damn, this was actually really good. Go ahead, you said
I think you know, Black Panther really did a good job, you know, as far as, you know, that Afrofuturism, because it showed black people having a, you know, civilization where they was built on technology. It wasn't it wasn't like how you always say, like, every time you watch, most of the time when you watch a black movie, it's always about the struggle, the
That was
going
a
to
great
jail,
departure.
coming back. I mean, we have a lot of those stories. Don't get me wrong; those stories are great, but it's just oversaturated. And I look at like people like Outkast. Like, if you look at the AT Aliens album, that was like Afrofuturism. The things Andre 3000 does, you know, it's futuristic. So, you know, I think like a lot of times we are hitting the right path. I think what kind of holds us back from it is whenever you're doing sci-fi, you need the budget.
Right.
You need the money.
You do.
You need the money for it to look believable. And, you know, we had on our show Keith Collins. You know, he does like action movies, sci-fi movies, and he explained that, you know, one of the things that, you know, kind of, you know, hinders him with his vision and his thoughts and him doing it is having the budget. So I feel like a lot of times it's good that we are, you know, putting the lens and the scope on Afrofuturism, but I think, honestly, when people create movies, it's so easy to do the hood movie. You know, it's so easy because you don't really need a budget for it. You
About the support though too.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So they make the hood movie, who gonna go see it? A lot of people gonna see it.
Yeah.
People from the hood going to see hood movies so they can relate.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They ain't gonna go to see Tenet or nothing like that with Denzel Washington's son in there. You know what I'm saying? They ain't trying to see nothing like that. They wanna see somebody getting shot and messed up.
Yeah.
And when we go back to Black Panther, I thought it was executed perfectly.
Exactly.
But there was one flaw. Why the brothers always got to be scrapping, man?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why we always got to be scrapping?
Yeah.
If they're a perfect civilization, then why we got to be scrapping?
Yeah.
It don't make no sense. But otherwise, everything was dope.
Yeah.
And supposedly they making a third one, so I don't know.
Denzel spilled the beans.
And not trying to somewhat disagree with you. I do be like they gotta scrap because in superhero movies that's what it's about. It's about good versus evil. It's about fight. It's about fight or flight. You know what
They
I'm
had to
saying?
tear themselves down though. Like
Well,
within each other, they had to scrap. You know
I don't
what
think it was. I don't think because we live in America, right? And in America, we have this idea of oppression, right? So everything is based on living in. We have to own being black as the first and foremost. You go to countries where everybody is black, they're split up by tribes and they're split up by different type of social, different types of social ideas instead of race. You know what I'm saying? Because if you go to countries where there's all black people, it's like, well, I'm allowed to not like this person because being black doesn't mean anything.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
okay.
Because white
I got
people
you.
only make up 7% of the world anyway. And well, 8%. It doesn't really matter. So it's 7 to 8%. So but the idea of white supremacy is so strong. So, and I'm just saying, like, and when you live in America, you feel like, why they got to be scrapping? But that's an American view of it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's kind of like, yeah, it's not scrapping because they're black and that's what they learned to do. That's American hood situations. These are just tribe situations because in other countries, in European countries, they fight each other.
That's
You know what I'm
true.
saying? You know what I'm
That's
saying? So it's just that we're forced to feel oppression with every situation.
I guess maybe I should reiterate or re-explain it. Like I meant like they were scrapping in the sense that if they're such an advanced civilization, civilization, why were they didn't find a better way to handle that? You feel what I'm saying?
Because
Like,
it wouldn't have been a movie.
it would have been boring. Like, oh yeah, they didn't even.
But, oh, look at them, they running. They having a nice day. Yeah, but it was good.
It was a great movie though. I still love it. I mean, you know, when I first watched it, oh man, amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, the rewatch value, I watched it again, it was good. It still hits, but it ain't quite like when it first came out. What is it, 2018?
Yeah, and I think a lot of times when people do make these sci-fi movies, they just throw a couple black people in there just to make it seem like, you know, like, okay, we added some black people in there. You know, it's just like they
don't really want to. I'm just real about
Some token black folks in there.
Yeah,
you know
but I do like watching Netflix movies now because I do feel like they do a lot of inclusion in these movies
true.
when you like watch them because and they go past the idea of look at this black person struggling because they're black. Sometimes they have people in the movie and they don't even bring up the fact that they're black. You're just watching black people in the story of everybody else. Like you ever see what Netflix and Amazon does a good job with that too because they're trying to but they include everybody though. Everybody. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like you can watch them like, damn, the whole idea of this person being black doesn't have nothing to do with the story.
Right.
Like you don't hear they're struggling. Sometimes you'll be watching something and be like the black person be rich. And then the white person be like, I'm glad they start doing stuff like that because that actually helps the esteem of the other people that's coming up.
Yeah, but
I hope they don't lose idea of like the struggles that we face, but it does help their esteem where they have to be like, oh, I'm not an automatic loser because I'm black. Go ahead.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is when I say that they throw them in there, they're not really the main character or even the person supporting them.
Falcon.
I can't remember which Predator it was. I watched the Predator or whatever with Adrian Brody, and so they got the Predator and they got a black guy in there and everything, but he some type of off of spirits and all that. It's just so cliche. It's just
You watch Netflix movies?
no.
Then you would see you wouldn't feel like that. You would feel like that. We kind of represented way more than we was in because I used to get mad when I used to watch movies like the ones you talking about. Like, damn, this is so fucking. Oh, sorry.
But do you think this is because of people getting in those positions, like at the director?
Yeah, I think there's more
black.
black people becoming part of these situations, and they know that because people are complaining about stuff now. You know what I'm saying? Because after Me Too and all of that stuff, times change. Like everybody want to be represented. Like, dude, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to watch something and then I'm not in it. You know what I'm saying? It's so rare to be on Netflix or be on Amazon and you watching a quote unquote white movie and all you see is just white people, or a quote unquote black movie and all you see is just black people. Like, cause I feel like they have to do that. And I do watch it. I don't know how you feel when if you ever start watching. I do watch it. I do feel like, damn, it's just so not important that I struggled. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how I want the younger people to feel like it's not because that's how I felt my whole life, like subconsciously. Not that I realize I feel it outside of the situation, talk about it. But then I would sit back and I would think, and I'd be like, I always feel like I'm a struggle. Okay. Because I watch that stuff and that's all I was taught. Like I was moving, like I said, moving to America. I feel like that's all being black is about, is a struggle. And then the first time I came here, I was introduced to racism. I was 9 years old, and the principal was telling me how I was a loser and how I'd never be nothing. And I was like a smart kid in the class because this white kid was acting bad, and I didn't understand what it was. And I went home, I told my mother what happened. She was like, that's right. She was explaining racism. So it just automatically made me feel like, well, it's black against white, man, right? And then my mom was explaining it again to me, like, no, that's not what it is. You know what I'm saying? But I just feel like a lot of times, the idea of struggling, the idea of being oppressed, people just thrown on you so much, where sometimes you just want to forget that you're black. You like, now you want to forget I'm black. That's why I watch sports.
Yeah. So even
because we winning.
This segment getting kind of long though. I want to interject a different point of view. Like, anybody watch that Watchmen series? It's kind of old. Like, it ain't that old.
I've seen it, but I didn't watch it.
You know what I'm talking about? It was a TV series. It was like a series. I can't remember if it was Netflix or something. It was dope. With the what's the dude that played Candyman, the remake? He played Mr. Manhattan and all that. You know what I mean? But they had this one character. It was a black dude from back then, like the racism time, Jim Crow era. You know what I mean? When they were hanging black folks. You know what I'm saying? You know, strange fruit, you know what I'm saying, hanging from the tree type stuff. Yeah. Anyway, this character, and this is gonna be kind of crazy. I don't know even know how to address it, but they put like it's like it felt like the LGBTQ was injecting that agenda into the movie or to the series, where they made that dude he was gay. Or bisexual, whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? It just like you watching a dope series, and all of a sudden they come up with this, and it's like, huh? Do you think? I guess what I'm trying to say. How do you guys feel about that? With the Afrofuturism.
I feel like it's an agenda to just to make inclusion for everybody.
Right.
Well, I don't know, like,
because it's happening. It seems to be happening. A lot of people are complaining about it.
Sometimes you just gotta ignore it because you know it's gonna come. Yeah. Like back in the day, it used to be like, wow, that's just crazy to me. And I'm saying back then, but now it's like you just ignore it because you know it's gonna definitely be there. Yeah. They don't really over sexualize it as much as they did in the beginning, but they just let you know that those people actually do exist.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you go
real life though.
Yeah, it's real life. That stuff does happen. It's in our family. I mean, Thanksgiving, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. So
you can go back in the Bible, they talk about that.
yeah. So it's kind of like, I think that it does exist, because if it's like that type of movie, then it's that type of movie. But I just think like a lot of times they just like, they try to make you know that it does. Just like they try to do it for I guess they got to do it for everyone. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I guess being inclusive, you got to put that. Yeah, you're right.
That's why you Afrofuturism sports.
Yeah. So we.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. So we talking a lot about Afrofuturism. So we're gonna come back and we're gonna interview you.
All right.
Do that part of the show, and then we gonna go to entertainment.
All right, that'll work.